So this next segment is on prospect management and tenant management. You know, when we have that prospect, as we talked about earlier, we want to make sure that we make it interesting and exciting and that we get the close. I think we addressed all of that earlier. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. And then as far as the tenant management, now that prospect becomes a tenant, it's really important we start the file on that day, that first day. We want to make sure we have a complete file with their application, with their rental agreement that includes all of the rules and regulations that you provided to them, making sure that tenants are very clear on what they can and can't do. We want to avoid evictions if we can, right? Those are very costly. And we want to make sure they're very clear on where, when, and how to make the rental payment, right? Those are the other issues, right? So what happens if we have a slow paying renter? What are some of the steps we can take, right? Anybody have to deal with this in the past? Yeah? So definitely want to make sure you follow all the right steps. So they have an issue. You know, it's not notwithstanding to have a conversation, right? What's your circumstance? What's the issue? Maybe you know, maybe you've experienced this before. Maybe you have a resource for them to help cure that interim issue that they're struggling with. There's a multitude of different things we can help solve with them, for them, to get them back on track and in paying. So, you know, if you have a solution, or if you have somebody who might have a solution for them to help cure that interim situation, by all means, right? We're in the people business. We're here to help people. You know, our purpose, our mission is to make it a great place for families, children to live and make these places better. So, you know, certainly not in the business to make it difficult, but we do need to get the rent. Can't solve that situation, they can't solve that situation, then maybe that's not the place for them to live today. Maybe next month, maybe a year from now we'll talk, right? So, you know, we want to serve them that 3-day pay or quit for non-payment. We want to be serving the 3-day covenant for cause if they're breaking the rules or regulations. 60-day notice for cause, and then the 90-day notice for lack of payment if they're on subsidized income such as HUD, Section 8. If you need to go to trial, be sure you have your file complete, everything you've done, everything you've had your third parties come in and inspect the units. If they're complaining about bed bugs, if they're complaining about roaches, you want to get your third party out there, right? You want to get that inspection report in your file. If they're complaining about things that maybe have not been repaired, you want to get your general contractor out there to get that report. You want that in your file. There is no more costly expense, right? That's one of the most costly expenses, having an eviction that drags out for months. We want to make sure we get that and we're tight on that process. When we go to court, we want to debrief that attorney, make sure they're completely up to speed with that case, and go in and present the facts to the judge. And we've won every case, and this is my Rose Jones, wave. She presents all our cases to the judge. She's won every single one of them, and we have the shortest turnaround when it comes to having to deal with eviction and court hearings and so forth. So we get those back within, you know, what would you say, Rose, 45, 60 days?
I'm sorry?
45 to 60 days on the turnaround?
No, with eviction, all the
total time,
it's about 30 days to get possession from start to finish. Because
she's efficient, I tell you.
It varies from county to county, because certain counties a little longer.
Certain counties are impacted.
Yeah.
We have some properties out in Victorville. We're going to Barstow, and they can be more impacted than others. But when you do that, when you follow that process, you get the unit back. Succinct, back on the market. You're contacting your wait list. You're getting it cleaned up, and you're getting somebody, a paying renter back in the unit. There's no bigger way to impact your bottom line as to have vacant units, right? So I want to try to cover all of these key areas that we can tighten up, sharpen the saw, and make sure we're increasing our cash flow. Because it's not just one variable. There's multiple variables here that we're all dealing with every day in running these businesses.